All right, well, greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to get at you as fast as I can with some breaking news. Lions Talk Live. We might even have one of the first videos up there on all the YouTube land about this. Just literally 3 minutes ago, it was reported through multiple different outlets. I don't want to try to take anything away from somebody. It's not like I got this news first, but Tom Pelissero, the longtime the NFL beat writer, says the Lions have agreed to terms on a 2-year deal, and also per Ian Rappaport and Mike Gallifrano, with the veteran defensive tackle DJ Reader. You're probably seeing that in the thumbnail, so hey, no real big spoiler there. DJ Reader is going to be a Detroit Lion. If you are not aware who he is a mammoth human being. He's depending on who you're asking and who's doing the measurements on him at that particular time, he's about 6'4", 6'5", and about 340 to 350 pounds. So I'm going to say this is a huge pickup for the Lions. I know we all wanted Hunter to come on over from the Minnesota Vikings. That didn't happen. DJ Reader, like I said, somewhere in the neighborhood about 6'4". He's 340, 350 pounds. Really depends on where you go with it to get your information. But what I can say is, man, oh man, him next to Aleem McNeil is a massive front for teams to have to deal with. Now backing him up is another 330 to 340 pound person in Broderick Martin. On top of that, you've got Aiden Hutchinson. We've been speculating for a few days since this scheduled visit was first announced that perhaps this is an indication the Lions aren't going to make a big move for a defensive end, because they're going to go with James Houston. James Houston, as we all know, can get to the quarterback. He is great at doing that. He's got bend beyond most humans' ability. He's got speed. He can contort his body. He can all do that, but he's not great against the run. Could it be, as we've been speculating for a few days now on Lions Talk Live, that Reader was brought in specifically to go next to James Houston, along with your linebacking core of Barnes, Anceloni, and Campbell, to help minimize the weaknesses within James Houston while adding to the pass rush abilities of the front seven of the Detroit Lions? It sure looks like to me, and just being the coach on the sidelines here, you're bringing him in just for that reason. You're going to keep Aleem McNeil right next to Aiden Hutchinson, and you know what? You're going to put DJ Reader along with Broderick Martin next to Houston just to help minimize his weaknesses a little bit. I think it's a huge move. Not probably a lot of people thought this was possible. We probably all, just because, hey, Dollar General Brad typically does not give up the wallet. We do not have financial terms of this deal yet. So all I can tell you at this point is it's a 2-year deal. Probably going to have to wait till later in the day or maybe tomorrow to get the actual dollars and cents of it all. But the Lions, they've been criticized by at least some of the fan base for not making a big splash move. But here's what we can say. Just days into free agency, has the secondary improved? I'm going to say yes. In fact, right when I was getting ready to, this news broke, I was getting ready to do an in-depth analysis of Davis III. And you know what? I think that dude might just actually have an S on his chest. I'm really liking him the more I have time to actually evaluate his personality traits as well as his physical attributes. So I'm going to say this. It's just a big win for the Detroit Lions. That front seven is something to contest, to deal with. We don't even know what they're going to get out of Davenport. Davenport could end up being something beyond our expectations. Could we get somebody like Chop Robinson in the draft or somebody else along those lines? The Detroit Lions defense is making a lot of progress forward. You look at what they've done in the secondary, the flexibility they now have there, on top of what's happening with that front seven. Man, oh man, I'm going to tell you this. We all get it's going to be an arms race in the NFC North. We all understand, I think, as Lions fans, the Green Bay Packers are getting better. The Bears are getting better. But you know what? So are the Detroit Lions. And they still have got cap money left. Could they potentially? I'm going to assume this 2-year deal is going to probably bring in Reader somewhere close to $8 million a year. Don't hold me to that. That is purely speculation on my behalf. But if that number holds anywhere near right, then we're probably working with about $15 million left in cap, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less. You're going to probably keep $7 to $8 million of that for the draft. That's also going to leave you roughly around $9 to $10 million for whatever you need to do during the regular season. So let's see what you guys thoughts are on this. Moonscar, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. There's got to be a way for me to put memes or memes, whatever you call those things, up in here, because that would take the show to another level. All right, let's see. Troy, yeah, let's go. 100%. I agree with that. This is the biggest pickup of the last 2 years. He's a game changer on our D line, and it's just elevated our entire line. I agree. He is going to require 2 people to block him on the vast majority of downs. Anything on first or second down, I think you've got to put a center and a guard on him. That means you're freeing up everybody else. Sorry, I guess it must be 4 o'clock and the stock market just closed. Anyways, so you got 2 people blocking him. There's only so many people you can put on the line unless you're going to leave more and more people in to chip block, etc. This is just a massive win for the Detroit Lions. Well, looks like we signed a reader. Hi, Dan, made a live show. Woo! Well, there you go, Walt. And glad you made the show. And yeah, man, just huge news for them. Detroit D, hell yeah, McNeil about to eat good. I don't disagree with that. And what I want to see when we get to the regular season, because I'm sure the Lions are not going to tip their hand in the preseason, but I want to see who they put next to Houston, who they put next to Aiden Hutchinson. My guess, and that's all it is that I've already said it in the show, that Reader is going to be paired with Houston and McNeil over with Aiden Hutchinson. What do you got? Could we sign Armstead? It's possible for sure. I know that would probably eat up a lot of our remaining cap space, but to your point, could it happen? Absolutely. Absolutely. Mr. Yesu, there you go. Mua, Aiden, Aleem, DJ, and Davenport, exclamation points. That's a good line. It is, man. It is. And I get, like you're saying right there, Mr. Yes, Davenport, probably a little underrated by most people, but he may not be about a month into the season when enough people get to see him and he gets a few more reps. All right, Derek, a reader, exclamation points. Go Lions, 1,000%. Couldn't agree more. 2 years, 27.5. Wow, that's more than I would have anticipated, but you know what? Hey, I don't disagree with it. I know I was expecting about 8-9 a year. That's going to be a little bit more than that, obviously, but you know what? 27 mil. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Big T, for getting that out there. Man, that is a massive win for the Lions and good for him. I'm going to wonder how much of that is guaranteed, but just a huge pickup. We wanted a splash signing. We got the splash signing. Walt, hit that like button. Yes, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so, making that push to get to 6,100. And if you could help out with that, that'd be great. Also, hitting that like button. 9 million guaranteed. Yeah, okay. So I was pretty close on the guaranteed money. I did not anticipate that it would elevate to 27 million though. But hey, good for him, man. He got paid and he's worth it. Chad, hopefully a lot of these injury guys can stay healthy. I guess the chances are high they will, since we've been injured in the past. Hey, it's football. I get it. You're taking if you're Brad Holmes, you're taking some calculated guesses. You're trying to obviously acquire a lot of people, and somebody would have to do it in their head. I can't do it right now on air, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defensive players signed. I mean, you've done all that in free agency, and you re-signed one of your own guards. Along with some other players, man, good for him. Good. They're rounding out this team, and before the draft even hits, can you imagine what this team potentially could be like with another Brad Holmes-esque draft? If you can get 2 or 3 or more starters out of this upcoming draft, this team could be pretty dang good. Dave, what do you got? Headbend? Headbend. All right, I'll go with that. DCW, what do you got? I know Bengals fans are not happy, but 2 years, 27.25 million a deal. I'll take that. Yeah. So, just under 13 a year. I'll take that indeed. Detroit Lions talk with Pats. Let's freaking go 100% with that, man. Dr. Detroit, good news, massive news, Dr. D. I want to hear what your thoughts on it, because I've given mine, and I know you're pretty on top of this stuff. Moonscar, complimentary pass rush and coverage 2024. All right, there we go. Kurt Steele, I like the signing. Me too, man. And let me know when you're ready to come back on air, man. I know you're busy with school and everything, but I think this is just a huge signing. Is there any possibility they could get Armstead? I don't know, man. Now that you guys have got me the numbers, I was so quick to get on air. I just couldn't wait to get the numbers, but I knew the terms of the deal as far as the length. But, man, I'm just not sure how much water's left in that jug, man. Maybe there's enough to get somebody else. Detroit talk with, all right. It's a 27.5, 2 years. Thank you very much for that. Kara, love the signing, exclamation point, 100%. I'm with you. DCW, I read this morning on Bengals site that were saying they need to resign him as he is the defense. Well, he's going to be a Detroit Lions defense now in a massive stop sign for anybody who tries to run up the middle. I can't wait to see this dude on the field. All right, Dylan, Scott, what do you got? The $13.6 million a year? I'll go with that. Yeah, I mean, you'll take it. You want to get a premium defensive player? You just got one. Kara, would they still extend St. Brown? Yeah, I think there's no question they're going to re-sign St. Brown. I would think. I don't see there's any scenario where they're not going to keep Amon-Ra St. Brown, but one thing at a time, they'll take care of that, I'm sure, this offseason. Michael, we got 27.25 for 2 years. Yep, yeah, I think you are correct. Ed, any that takes a double away from Hutch is spectacular. You're not wrong, man. And again, I want to see the pairings. There's no way we're going to see that until we get to the regular season. I want to see the flexibility they put with that line. I want to see how they're going to move people around. Could you imagine this guy being next to James Houston or Betts? And then I've talked about Betts a little bit. I said, man, this guy has got some straight line speed. I'm not quite sure he has quite the bend to be a superstar at the NFL level. But one thing I did speculate on is stunts and pulls. And if this is the guy, DJ Reader, stunting with you and pulling and going into two offensive linemen, now I think Betts could be a huge weapon because when he loops, that dude's got some speed. So does Davenport. Obviously, so does James Houston. The Lions might be setting up something pretty nice here. Papa D's, what do you got? Hutch, Reader, McNeil, Davenport. What? Yeah, man. It's Christmas in July if you're a Detroit Lions fan, even though it's not July. All right, David, happy, solid Bugs, Bonino replacement. Yeah, I think, this just replaced both of them. Michael, imagine if we signed Armstead. Let's go. Yeah, the line would be huge. Detroit Lions fans everywhere would be celebrating. Not that they're not right now, but the rest of the NFC, the NFC North, you just signed all these running backs. You better find some place for them to run. All right, because it probably isn't going to be up the middle on Detroit. Papa D's, what do you got? Probably not. Skipper and Armstead got beef, and that's not good for the locker room. You know what? Hey, we'll see what shakes out with it, one thing at a time. Z's, what do you got? LMFG, exclamation points, top 10 defense. Hey, we'll see where we end up, but I'm going to say this. We've made some massive improvements and upgrades to this defense, and we haven't even hit the draft. Here's my question to you guys. At this point, knowing that you really don't have many holes, and I get you just got Davis III, do you make some sort of trades to move up to get a premium pass rusher or an offensive lineman or something else on this team? Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. I do think we're still going to target a kicker in the later parts of the draft. Papa D's, unless they can squash it. Yeah, I mean, hey, shake hands, have a Mountain Dew, and get through it. Have one gold, roll that bike, pedal the boat, whatever you want to say, in the same direction. Hey, man, we are going to be a force this year again. I would agree with that. Top 10 defense? Yes, agreed. Robert, woo! There you go. Kurt, I'm said headed to Jax. All right, well, take him off the board then. Go back to the draft. Don Count, holy sneakies, Dan. They did it, and I'm shocked, but not really because, dude, hurt, man, like what the heck? All right. Hey, he might be hurt. We might have got him cheap because of that. We might have simply กับhim because he has an injury history. But when he's healthy, look out. I do think you're probably going to see him more rotational than what you've seen with the Bengals in the past. But you know what? Good for him. Keep him fresher. It's a long season, plus the postseason. Man, let Aleem McNeil get in there, do some stuff. Let Broderick Martin and whoever else you may bring in. What if you go after Sweat from Texas and have him a part of that rotation? Man, ain't nobody going up the middle on the Detroit Lions for the next few years if that happens. Z's, what do you got? This medical staff brought Levi back from spinal fusion surgery. That is true. I think DJ would be good to go. Yeah, and I know we talked about it on the morning show yesterday and today. It was my anticipation that the medical staff, once the team got him in the facility around 11:30, maybe noon, kind of do the pleasantries, shaking hands, kissing babies, photos, going around the facilities, sitting down, talking to coaches, and somewhere around 2 p.m. is when the deep dive would begin with the medical staff. Usually that takes an hour, maybe in rare situations, 2 hours. I'm going to say it probably went about an hour. So by 3 o'clock, they're negotiating terms. And what do you know? Right around 3:45 p.m., The news breaks, they sign a contract. That means the Lions had the contract all set, probably already spoke to his agent, had the terms. So my guess is everything came down to basically what did the medical staff for the Detroit Lions say? Did they evaluate him as a yes or no? And obviously at this point, we can all say it's a yes, baby. He is a Detroit Lion. Chad, Super Bowl or bust, baby. Yeah, at this point, what else do the Lions really need to get? If they can just hit the draft, this team really should be in consideration for a Super Bowl, and there's just not any weaknesses that I'm thinking of right now. Maybe one more pass rusher, maybe a little bit more help on the offensive line, but again, I think you're doing that in the draft at this point. Sit back, grab your Victory Mountain Dew and cigar, whatever you're going to do, and start celebrating. But the Detroit Lions, I'm going to say this, it'll be interesting to see tomorrow how Vegas moves the lines around for next year's Super Bowl contenders. David, stoked from Kuwait. Well, stoked from Kuwait. I hope you're having a great time there. Enjoy it. Ed, I'm changing my free agent grade from a C to a B. I'll take that. You know what? Mine was a B minus. I'm going to move it to a B plus. I'm going to one-up you, man. One-up you, Ed. David, we need OG, offensive guard to be ready for draft. Yeah, I think my guess is just without knowing the cap numbers right now, you're probably looking at that being in the first round and a target of the Detroit Lions. Bring somebody in. Hope there are a ton of very good offensive guards available. My guess is that's probably your first round pick. And then second round, who knows? We'll go from there. Kara, Lions medical staff is the best in the league. They are. They really do need some credit. I know he's no longer here, but what they did with C.J. Gardner-Johnson, helping him along that path, James Houston as well, good for them, man. They're earning every dollar they're getting. Non-con, we're drafting guard round one. There's a strong possibility of that. Sean, 2 years, 27 mil. Thank you for that. Love the pick, by the way. Moonscar, we're going to Sisler. There you go, man. I might go get a second Mountain Dew today and a second hot dog from the Circle K. All right, CT, what do you got? We need about $9 million to sign rookies. Yeah, right around there, 7-9. That sounds about right. Matthew, looks like Armstead is being targeted by Jags. Yeah, I get it. We can't get everybody, unfortunately. Don Bird, all caps from Don Bird. Well, this is a huge moment now. Now all the Lions crybaby fans can shut the Mountain Dew up. Yes, I agree. We've had a pretty good offseason, at least from my opinion. It's okay if you have a different opinion. Alan, Jaguars just signed Armstead. Hey, he's out of here then. Non-con Lions staff are not involved in surgeries. They are not, but they do have to do the evaluations. They do have team doctors that they typically use in different situations. Whether or not they went to that extent to have them in, probably not. But their medical staff, they've got to give a clean bill of health. Otherwise, you're not signing anybody. Don Kong, LOL, imagine Dan and Brad repairing an ACL. There you go. Hey, some meatball surgery, we used to call that back in the day in the field. All right, Sean, 2 years, 27 million. Ian Rappaport reported it. Yeah, thanks for that, guys. Again, when I was trying to get on air as quick as I could to get this news out to you, and I probably didn't have all the details. I saw the signing. I saw the length. I did not have the dollars and cents of it all. All right, Austin C., a 2-year deal worth up to $27.25 million. Michael, how much do they need to sign all the draft picks? If they keep all the current ones they have and they don't do any trades, whatever, it's going to be in the neighborhood of $7 to $9 million, right around there. Michael Green says, salutations, Dew Crew, exclamation point. Woo! With the Ric Flair woo. Yeah, I got to imagine everybody's wooing right now if you're a Lions fan. J. Michael, I would be happy if the Lions have an average pass defense, like a top 16 defense. There's so many questions. We're going to have to take a deep breath after this. And once we see the draft, are they going to continue to blitz as heavily as they did last year? I think with the amount of and type of cornerbacks they brought in, that's probably a real possibility because they're going to try to force teams into less predictable situations. They're going to try to impose their will on it. That seems to be what Aaron Glenn's most comfortable with. Not only, and I'm using late last year, the last 2 months as that barometer, plus what he did in the year when they went from 1-6 to 9-7. That's where they were most comfortable, and he seemed most comfortable as a defensive coordinator. So we'll see what shakes. Dave, we still need speed at the cornerback and draft. Yeah, I'm going to guess they're going to draft a couple people to develop. Robert, OL, yeah, offensive line, agreed. Roy, break out the champagne and cigars, exclamation points. Let's go, Lions. The D is definitely been upgraded. Let's go, Lions. 100%. They're in it to win it at this point. And now it's just what will Brad Holmes do come draft day? I just can't imagine there's going to be much more going on in free agency, but I've been wrong before. All right, Silver. Yes, big dude, exclamation point. I like that mountain of a player. Yeah, he is massive. And like I said, you got him, you got Broderick Martin. From a physicality standpoint, a mass standpoint, they're very similar. I will say this, Reeder's better, more polished. Martin's unknown. Martin, though, does have a pretty dang good athleticism. He can get after the quarterback once he develops. Ransom, what do you got? OL, defensive end, safety, wide receiver, and kicker. Yeah, get them all, man. Get some in there. Broski Bear, he's turning 30 and coming off his second torn quad. That's not good. It's not, but you know what? You got to believe that the medical staff did their due diligence on it. I'm going to guess they're going to try to keep him on a bit of a snap count throughout the season. Maybe he only gets 50 to 60% of the snaps. Maybe even at different times a little bit less if they get a game in hand or whatever have you. But I'm going to imagine they're going to be very mindful of that for that reason. Dennis, love it. Yeah, hard not to, right? Jay, what do you got? Now they need to trade up for a pass rusher. Now, I would say I'd be okay with it. But who's the pass rusher you guys want him to go get? I don't think you're going to give up your first and second to go do it. But I could see a first, a third, maybe some lower draft picks too to try to move up. Do you break the bank and dip into your 2025 picks? I would not, but I'm not them. CT, what do you got? First round guard? Yeah, I know everybody's going to be talking about Jackson Powers, and that might be the play. James, good pickup. Let's go, 100%. Matthew, what do you got? Trade up for Johnson. Need a guard center. Yeah, and we think alike. Dr. Troy, Brad hitting up that ER, but good move for sure. Hey, we got Dollar General Brad. We got ER Dr. Brad. I mean, man, tomorrow morning's thumbnail, that's going to be fun to make, man. Dennis, Tech Martin, yeah, I'll go with that. Dennis, how many years? 2 years. 2 years. Let's see, Broski Bear, DJ Reader is done. He'll be lucky to make it through camp. Second torn quad, and it will be 30 years old. He's done. We'll see, man. We'll see. Maybe he'll rub something on it and get it all good to go. Dr. Detroit, offensive lineman, wide receiver, kicker. Good with that. Zachary, is this good? I think it is, man. I think it's a great signing. Of course, it doesn't matter what any of us think. We've got to see what happens on the field. But at least right now, I would say this. Everybody around the NFC North, maybe even the NFC, is taking notice of what the Lions have done to that defense. And the offense, as we all know, was already something. Donkey Kong. Wait, a second here? Question mark. Is DJ even healthy? Question mark. What's this guy? I hurry status? Question mark. Anyone know the facts? He's got an injury history for sure. But there's no way they're signing him, especially for that kind of money and guaranteed, $9 million guaranteed, without having the results from the medical staff to say we're good to go. Michael M., we could put Martin at nose and Leem and do at tackle, yeah, and have a true 3-4 defense. You could be onto something there. Could you move some pieces around and say have DJ one spot, Aleem the other spot, and then Broderick Martin the other defensive end, and then go with the 3-4 base? You're gonna have some flexibility for sure, Michael. Silver, what do you got? First 2 picks, O-line, edge. Why not a beast offensive tackle like Mims? 340 pounds, could play guard to begin with, could replace Decker soon. Yeah, we're going to be talking about all the speculation for about a month, whatever it is, 40 days. All right, Mike the Marine, howdy Dan, and Mr. Reader signing with Detroit. Yes, it's a great signing and a great day for the Detroit Lions. Dennis, beautiful, 1,000%. Old Dirty Ron, Brad going to make a splash in the draft. He might, man. Could he pull off something none of us are anticipating? That would be, I guess we'll get to the draft and we'll find out. Richard, estimated 2 years, $27 million, but this is what I saw. Okay, yeah, now it seems to be what everybody's confirming. Old Dirty Ron, we are in a win now mode. I would agree. We are in it to win it right now. Silver Server, Evan Brown would be good. Now you'd have another guard center who can step in and knows the system. That's true. What's the price tag on him? Who knows? I mean, we'll see what the Lions do in free agency from now on. All right, Philippines on demand. After these signings, I see the Lions going with an offensive guard with the first selection in the draft. I trade down, grab more picks, grab an OG. Yeah, I mean, I do think there's a lot of depth at the interior offensive line position. So to your point, Could you trade out of the number 29 pick? Absolutely. Especially if a quarterback falls there and a quarterback needy team who wants a 5th-year option, wants to trade up. Could you maybe get 2 seconds and maybe like a 6th or 7th or something? Sure, absolutely could. Mike the Marine, now a veteran safety for leadership and mentor that like Simmons. Now that's an idea. Can you get him under the cap though? Douglas, do we know if the $9 million guaranteed is all year one? That I do not. Unfortunately, I just don't know the terms by the time I got on the air, and I'd have to stop and research it now. And that even then, is that information out yet? We'll probably all know in a day or so. William, I know everyone's upset about readers being hurt, but damn, he eats double teams. He does. He's going to require a lot of blocking. David, we need 2 starter level offensive linemen, offensive guards to equal the 6 from last year. Okay, we'll go with that. It's on now. It's on now. Okay. JIK, can't wait to watch all these new Nobbies play. All right, fair enough. All right, William, now time to go after Armstead. Yeah, unfortunately, it sounds like he signed with Jacksonville. Don Kong, LO William, that's what I thought. Exclamation points. Dude's freaking injured and everything. He may be, but there's got to be a reason why Brad Holmes brought him in. And I get he loves himself some injured players, but you know what? I'm going to trust him because look what he's done in 3 years. He's done nothing but build this team up and take us up spots. I'm going to guess most of us just never anticipated happening with the Detroit Lions, let alone having done it so fast in just 3 years. Philippines, what? Exclamation point. I expect a top 10 defense. Could happen, man. Could happen, my friend. Big D, what do you got now? Brad Holmes can go best player available in the draft. I concur. Zachary, Kool-Aid, question mark? Could be. Although his injury status I think it might push him into the 2nd round. Huron Mark, I think Brad signing a starting guard before draft, it could happen. Burger time. Woo! There you go. Alan W. I was a little bit disappointed at first when we didn't make a huge splash, but after sitting with it and now getting Reader, I feel real good about the guys we got. Hey, I'm with you on that. They let maybe some of the costs on some players come down. They made a couple calculated moves. Yes, they've gambled on a lot of injured guys, but if half of them pan out, 75% of them pan out, you're looking pretty good. If they all pan out, I mean, you've gone Roy Hobbs. You've knocked the cover off the ball. Steve, what do you got? Armstead gone to Bills or Jags? Okay. Bo, what do you got? Good news. I agree with you. Bird time. We about to be dangerous. Yeah, that defense, I want to see it. I can't wait to see it. Steve, need a veteran guard. I concur. Steve, we don't need $9 million for rookies. It just depends on where you draft. And like I said, $7-9 million is about usually what you keep around. All right, Jay Michael, sir, thank you for as usual for the timely updates. Very cool in having you on the Lions Pulse. Hey, I enjoy it to death, man. Enjoy you guys all being here. So glad it works for you and happy to do it for you. Alan, we also got a new D-line coach. Dan Campbell says he's the best in the league. Yes, and that probably needs to be really looked into in a video maybe after the draft. Steve, we need a few million only due to the top 51 counting and the later picks. Yeah, I'll go with that, man. Steve, Chicago needs like 10 million or so. Oh, yep. Brent, what happened? Just got here. Hey, coach. Hey, Brent, good to see you. Lions side DJ Reader, 2 years. It's reported 9 million guaranteed, about 27.5 million over the life of the contract. Let's see. Michael, only 9 million guaranteed. Brad is a freaking wizard. Yes. So if it doesn't work out, they can move on. You get a little bit of a cap hit, but you know what? You don't have to live with it long term. Brian, go get Armstead to solidify the middle of the DL. Unfortunately, Brian, it sounds like from what some of the guys are saying in the chat, he's moving on. He's going to either the Bills or Jaguars. Let's see. Mix slibs. There's 32 teams, one winner. You got to buy lottery tickets on upside. I'll go with that. Only one person wins the lotto, usually. Jay Daz, let's go, 100%. Mile Marco, what a smiley face. Yes. Dennis, go get DJ, one of them from the Vikings. If you can, yeah, that might not be a bad idea. Xana Happerson, he's injured his quad 1 year, then another quad last year. Came off the first aid injury and was still dominant. Yeah, I mean, I get he's hurt. I get he's beat up. I'm just going to say this. I believe in the medical staff. I believe in the coaches in the front office. They're doing this. They've made a great pickup here. And at least, how about this? They're not staying stagnant on the sideline. They're rolling the dice. They're going in it to win it. And you know what? Give them kudos for that. Motor City, favorite move so far? Yeah, I would agree with that. You're going to Last year, they came in and said, we can't fix the entire defense in 1 year. We just want to be able to stop the run. It's going to look like they're going to be able to stop the run this year too, and maybe play the pass just a wee bit better. Brent, I'd still go after an edge in the first round. Yeah, I know we were talking about that earlier in the show. Will they make a trade or just let someone fall to them? That we'll have to wait to see. Russ, this is the best signing so far. Only $9 million guaranteed over 2 years. This guy is a force. He is a double team force. Let's see, Market Royal. What is the numbers? It sounds like 2 years, $27.5 million, $9 million guaranteed. My wife loves the D. Hey, who doesn't love Detroit? Trubisky, Churianton, Luke McCaffrey. Yeah, I think he could be in play in the later rounds for sure. Silver Reader is a run stopper. Now move out of the way. Move out of the way for him. Aleem and Martin. Good luck. It all starts with the run defense, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, force the other team to be one-dimensional. Kurt, this will help Aleem tremendously. I fully agree with that. Miles Margo. Wiki says he was a pitcher for the Tigers in 2013. Well, the dude's got skills, doesn't he? Dave just got here. I heard went to Jags. Yes, I believe that's what he did. Dave, if we get an OG, Brad can go best player available in draft. Yes, he'll be targeting that. Seth, still need a safety, another pass rusher, D lineman, guard, and a cornerback. Man, they've added a ton of corners, but I think in the draft, they're going to be looking to add all those spots you just mentioned. John, good signing. I agree. Mark Royal, what a great deal. 100%. Polar Bear. Woo! Andrew, where is Josh Reynolds? That is the big question. But right now, he is not a Detroit Lion. At least at the time I went on air, he had not signed. Kevin, is Joseph Furrow coming back? I don't know on that yet. So maybe in time we'll know. Polar signed Josh Reynolds. Yeah, I think they're trying to, but just haven't yet. Philip Goodwin, Justin Simmons, then draft Mike Sandersky and Zach Zenner. All right, fair enough. John, I liked rotational players you don't overpay or over-depend on. I'll go with that 100%. Timothy, yes. No Armstead. Yes, correct. He is gone. Yes, now Armstead. Well, unfortunately, Armstead is gone. Signed with the Jags, it sounds like. Anthony, good afternoon. Duke Crew, Super Bowl or bust, 100%. And thank you for that, Anthony. Kevin Barrows, is this confirmed? It is confirmed. Yes, he is signed for 2 years. All right, Brent, 409 watching and 85 likes. Push them likes, y'all. Yeah, if you're watching the show and if you would be ever so kind, hit the subscription button. Maybe hit the thumbs up button if you would. I surely would be thankful. John, no one running on us next year. No, we're going to make it pretty dang tough. Anthony, that's the guy I was talking about. Coach smoked. It happens, man. It happens, Anthony. Dave, speed, cornerback, edge, wide receiver, kicker would be nice, but only OG is necessary. I'll go with that, David. John, good signing. I agree. Dr. Detroit Reader says he will be better than ever this season. I believe him. Yeah. Hopefully he's coming in with a chip on his shoulder and wants to use that to help get the Detroit Lions to a Super Bowl. All right, Philippines, I love the show, man. Exclamation point. You do a great job. You guys do a great job in making the show great. So make no mistake about it. Without everybody in the chat, this show would not be great. And hopefully now Brock Purdy won't rush for 50-plus yards on us. Let's hope not. John, love your show. Love you being a part of it. Ratings Q, greetings and salutations. Woo! Thanks for that, man. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get off the air. I've bothered you now for almost a little over a half hour. If there is some other breaking news today, I'll try to get it over to you as quick as possible. But if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Making a push to get to 6,100 subs. If you enjoy the content of the video, hit the thumbs up button. Otherwise, take care. Enjoy your day. We'll see you on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.